AGTOS blast units are used in the most varied types of industrial production. Today we're visiting Wilbert Turmkrane, a manufacturer of rotating tower cranes based in Hunsrück. Here in these modern manufacturing buildings, Wilbert is now installing a completely new production line for the tallest cranes currently in use around the world. Both new and rental equipment is stored here. And because all components are refurbished after a predetermined number of years, we can see both fresh and faded surfaces here, side by side. A large hall was set up as the surface treatment center. The blasting unit is located in the center of the hall and is loaded using an overhead conveyor system that supplies the blasting, powder coat, and baking stations. The 3-track rail system combines the highest levels of flexibility and heavy load capacity. The 30-meter-long blasting chamber makes it possible to automatically process components measuring 14 meters in length and weighing up to 20 tons. The walls are made of sound-absorbing material, and the interior walls are completely covered with wear-resistant rubber. The 3 drive slots are sealed with rubber gaskets, strip brushes, and labyrinths made of hardened manganese steel. As a rule, the production residue that must be removed includes welding residue, scale, and light amounts of rust. A component is also arriving today that will be painted a different color at the customer's request. We build 2 types of cranes, trolley cranes and jib cranes. We've specialized in extremely tall cranes and cranes that can lift very heavy loads. We are currently building Europe's biggest crane. Our trolley cranes are smaller, but what does smaller mean in this context? These cranes can be several hundred meters tall and have booms 60 to 85 meters in length. We actually got our start by leasing construction cranes, but we then decided to build these cranes ourselves. The heart of this installation is the AGTOS blasting unit, which can fully automatically blast workpieces with lengths up to 14.2 meters and widths of 2.5 by 3.0 meters. I decided to go with AGTOS because I had a number of components test blasted at different locations in Europe. I was in Belgium at a somewhat smaller blast unit built by AGTOS. That installation impressed me the most, and that tipped the scales in favor of AGTOS. 16 high-performance turbines, each rated at 18.5 kilowatts, are installed in the blasting zone and are supplied with blast media. To make sure that as many indentations as possible are blasted, 8 turbines are arranged at staggered angles on each side of the workpiece. In the area directly exposed to the blast media, we also see exchangeable wear-resistant plating made of hardened manganese steel. The control cabinet's display area shows the run-up process for the unit's components. For each blasting application, the operator can call up a preset program in which the flow rate and ejection velocity of the blast media are already defined, along with the processing time resulting from the transport speed. Behind a noise protection booth and on each side of the blasting unit, we see a group of 8 turbines with their direct drive units and vertical feed lines for the blast media. The desired impact point for the blast media can also be set here. Starting and stopping the feed of blast media from the silo located above is program controlled. Of course, the high-quality blast media is kept in a closed process loop, and for this reason, the entire interior space is funnel-shaped. In the blasting hall itself, the entire floor is graded. 2 longitudinal screw conveyors located beneath the floor permanently ensure the return of blast media. The shape of the 2 channels beneath the unit can be seen quite clearly. From down here, a bucket elevator brings the collected blast media all the way to the top of the unit, where it is processed and stored in a hopper. An air classifier removes dust, rust, scale, and pulverized paint particles. The effectiveness of the continuous cleaning system during the blasting process can be seen in the continuous discharge of waste into the big bags. 2 additional filtration units clean the dusty air in the cabin areas before and after the blasting zone. Each unit has a volume capacity of 15,000 cubic meters per hour, enough to completely exchange the volume of air 33 times per hour. With a residual dust content of less than 1 milligram per cubic meter, the air can subsequently be returned to the hull without further concerns. The integrated cartridge filters are automatically cleaned as a function of the differential pressure level. In this system, the differential pressures currently seen here illustrate the degree to which the filter has been soiled. In our production run, we can now see an additional function of the blasting unit. For special applications, a freehand blasting function can be used in the first half of the hull. A compressor supplies a handheld blasting nozzle that can be used to complete individual blasting tasks. The excellent lighting in the room makes it possible to work very precisely. The worker in our film only briefly demonstrates this function because the workpiece will be stripped of its coating on all sides by the 16 turbines during the automatic blasting process. Manual blasting is restricted to the few cases where reworking is required. At the rear of the unit, we can see a compressor that will now be required to remove any dust still found on the clean surface. 1 or 2 workers are assigned the task of blowing off any remaining surface dust. The extraction system installed in the cabin has enough power to immediately extract the dust removed from the workpiece surface. When the crane components leave the unit, we see a surface that is immaculate and metallically clean on all sides. The overhead conveyor system, designed by the Wilbert engineers, has a long row of parallel storage spaces that are used as a buffer area before and after the powder coating and baking processes. The next time you see an impressive bridge being built in South America, or a daring skyscraper scratching the heavens in one of the world's big cities, chances are good you'll see cranes at work that were engineered and built in Hunsrück. We at AGTOS are pleased that our systems have produced a world-class blasting result that contributes to the success of such projects. When can we help you with your blasting needs?